A lot of the bully breeds that I train are extremely stubborn, and they're hard to prong collars due to the size of their neck and the lack of nerve endings. They do have a lot of food drive, but they generally lack an anticipatory instinct, and they don't readily experiment or offer behaviors. They also resist guidance with light leash pressure, but when the pressure escalates, instead of yielding productively, they emotionally shut down. In other words, they're both resistant to learning through trial and error, and they're fragile under stress. Now, Apollo is an anomaly for his breed. He has the trifecta. He's operant, he yields to pressure, and he is emotionally stable and not prone to shutdown. Combine this with the fact that he's incredibly strong, territorial, and reactive, and you have the perfect candidate for e-collar training. In the last video, I created a super elaborate setup just to get this dog in and out of the crate with a back tie and a prong collar. Now that Apollo's had a basic e-collar introduction, I'm gonna redo that entire session, except instead of the back tie and the prong collar and all that, I'm gonna use only the e-collar. In our last crate training session, I had him set up with his crate in the yard. Hey buddy. I had a back tie hooked up through the crate and I was pulling the crate. Now we've had a little bit of practice in this naturally, just in the day by day, taking him in and out of the crate. But the key point is that Apollo now understands to go into the crate via leash pressure. The goal now is to transfer that over to the e-collar. And this is also going to apply to him not busting out of the crate when we open the door. So let's get into that right now. Okay, I'm gonna start by just doing a couple practice reps here, just like we did at the end of our last session as a little bit of a refresher. It's been about a week since we did that, so I'm gonna take the door off. Oh, I know, buddy. Crate. Awesome, so we actually got it with no pressure at all. Good boy. Good boy. Free. Apollo, crate. Great. A little bit of pressure there. Free. I know, big guy. Good boy. Great. Good. Free. Awesome. Good job, buddy. So that's looking good from where we left off in our last session. I'm gonna go ahead and jump right into e-collar. I'm gonna be using a low working level. I call it the gas pedal, just to give him that little bit of extra push, and we're gonna completely fade out the leash pressure. Now, as you saw, he's already doing this a little bit, not super reliably. Oh, easy, buddy. Squirrel, still a little reactive. He's already doing this decently well, not super reliable, without any e-collar or prong collar. So I'm hoping to take that to 99.9%. What are you doing, big guy? By the end of this session. So let's get into it. Apollo, crate. Good boy. What can I say, guys? He's the perfect dog for e-collar. Free. Responds right away. This is exactly what I would want to see. Boom, and there's the anticipation. Good boy. There was no stem at all. He's got all the things, guys. I don't know what to say. He's really the perfect dog for this. This is gonna make the actual issues that he has a whole lot easier to solve because he is this way. Free. Go a little further. Apollo, crate. Good boy. There was one tap on the stem there. Good boy, buddy. Good boy. Now we're gonna go ahead and put the door on. All right, now same thing here. When I open the door, I can stop him from coming out as well if he tries using only my e-collar. Get rid of this. Same setting on the e-collar here, we're on an 8. Good boy. Good. Apollo, free. Good job, buddy. Great job, big guy. Great job. Apollo, crate. Bump the camera a little bit. Free. Free. Good boy. Good boy. Well, there you go, guys. Super short and sweet. Honestly, I kind of wish he would have done a little bit worse just for the demonstration, but this just goes to show that that last session I did in the last video was highly effective, even though it was something that I've never necessarily done before. This further reinforces the point that Apollo really is a prime example of a dog that is really built for e-collar training. He was showing me the anticipation as soon as we brought it out here. He's got the food drive. He responds really well to the leash pressure, which then prepares him to respond really well to a very low, very reasonable level of e-collar stim as well. After experiencing the stim, I'm not seeing any emotional fallout, no tail tucking, no running away. He just responds to the pressure and moves into the behavior even faster and more reliable than before. When I'm deciding when to implement the e-collar with a dog in my program, if at all, first off, I really want to see them anticipating the target behavior. I want to be able to show them the food and see them actively trying to figure out how to earn it. Once I start seeing that, I'm also going to add a command in there. Next, I want them to yield to leash pressure and carry out the behavior even faster and better than before. I want to make sure that they're emotionally stable enough to not have an immediate shutdown as soon as they feel pressure from the leash. I always want to be asking myself, how prepared is this dog to be able to shut off pressure once it starts? And if I determine that this dog is never going to know how to shut pressure off, no matter how many repetitions we do, then they probably aren't going to be getting e-collar training at all. Next, I'm going to overlay the e-collar stim with my existing leash pressure and food reward. Everything else is the exact same. And finally, I'm going to take away the leash pressure and I'm going to rely solely on my e-collar. Taking Apollo through this process has been absolutely textbook. This is the gold standard of e-collar training. Every dog isn't gonna perfectly fit in this little box, but I think it's important to have a clear target in mind so that my training stays as consistent and repeatable as possible. Next, I'm gonna show you how I actually use this new skill to start producing duration in the downstay. And this stuff transfers over to all of their commands. I'm only using the downstay because in my opinion, it's honestly the hardest basic obedience command besides healing. All right, guys, I'm gonna show you what it looks like to proof a downstay in a mostly perfect world with a dog who's really, really appropriate for e-collar training. Let's get into it. First things first here, I'm gonna make sure we still have a down command. I showed you getting him into that command already. Now let's just check on it and make sure it's still good. He's a little distracted right now, so let's get him back. Apollo, down. Down. Good boy. Free. Perfect. Bring some e-collar into it. And we're working on a nice low level 8 for him. Hey. Down. Good boy. Good boy. Perfect, and I think we got it. Now let's get into proofing. The very first thing I want to use to distract him with is food. I'm going to use the same exact reward source that I've been using for all of his other training, and in this case, he really likes a little bit of hot dog. So I've got the leash to block and I've got the e-collar to stop. I'm going to bump his e-collar level up a little bit higher. We're going to go with a 14 right now for this. No. Down. I gave that a toss, he got up, I marked it with no, and I delivered a tap on the e-collar stem at a level 14, and he corrected himself back into the down position. Down. Down. Good boy. No stem that time, he did what he was supposed to do. Good boy. Teasing him. Good. Free. Good boy. Let's face the camera, big guy. Down. 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 I'm actually proofing as I check my camera angle here because I've got my finger on the button and I'm ready. No. Down. Trying to make sure I get a nice view of him on camera here. But that's life. When you're actually using a downstay, you're going to be moving around, doing stuff. You got to watch out of the corner of your eye in the beginning phases. And in this case, it just happens to be me checking the camera angle. Down. Good boy. Good boy. I'm going to introduce a little bit of movement, and I'm going to leave that hot dog laying right there. He's got eyes on it. I don't know if you guys can see it. No. Down. So there he did not respond right away to the stem. So I very quickly bumped it up to a higher level. It looks like we landed on a 22, and he actually got a few different pulses there just to make sure he goes back into it. This is all very reinforcing for his downstay. The next thing I'm going to use, this is going to turn it up even a little bit more, is a tennis ball. Extremely high ball drive, extremely high prey drive with this dog. I'm actually going to pick my leash back up with this, because I don't know if I'm going to be able to stop him with the e-collar alone. Hey, down. Down. Giving him verbal reminders as we go. Now I'm going to stay on that 22 since that's what it took last time. Good boy. Good. Down. I'm doing everything I can with this to make this as challenging but still doable for him as possible. Good boy. Ow. Your giant mouth. Let's see, I'm gonna kind of bounce it over him. Once I get his attention back, see if we can get some movement. And that hot dog is still on the ground over there, guys. He knows it's there. He's not gonna forget. Good boy. Very good. All right, the next thing I'm gonna try out here is changing my body position a little bit and moving around quickly. He's kind of trained at this point to move with me. So by moving my body around, it kind of cues him to get out of the downstay, and I want to proof around that as well so that I can move freely around him and do what I need to do without him thinking he needs to get up every time. So One of the biggest ones that will make dogs get up is actually crouching down. So I'm gonna do that right now. Good boy. For our first session doing this, guys, the level of understanding of this for him is just unreal. It's unreal, but that's why I decided to make this video. I wanted to show you what a big, hard to train dog looks like when they are actually perfect for e-collar training. It was the right choice for this guy. Good boy. I think that's enough wins right there. I'm gonna call it free. Good job, buddy. Good job. Good job. Let's quit while we're ahead and move on to something else. So there it is, guys. This is a textbook example of a perfect dog for e-collar training. Now that I have a strong line of communication with this huge dog through obedience, I can begin applying it to the real reason that he is here, reactivity. But that's gonna be for the next video, so I'll catch you there.